All right, hi everybody. I'm Alicia, and this is Dollar Store Stereography. This is actually a repeat of a project that I did before. This is actually Dollar Store Stereography number 2, but the other video that I made was like an hour and a half long, and that was not appropriate. So today what we're making is a home-style stereoscope, and a stereoscope is from the 1800s. It was used to view stereo pictures. Stereo views. This is a modern stereo card that I print on aluminum because I have National 3D Day coming up, and I packed up all my stereo cards that I'm bringing there. So this is the only one I had available. But a stereoscope basically is a pair of magnified lenses, and this stereoscope, don't worry about it, I'm taking it apart just for this project. So you can see that it has a pair of magnified lenses. It has a card carrier. This is what's called a card carrier, and this is a rail. This part is called a septum. That's basically the part that divides between your two eyes when you're seeing it in parallel view. And these little clippy parts are actually just called card clips. So we're going to be making a home-style stereoscope that you can use literally just like any other stereoscope. It will be fully functional. And we're going to be making them out of a handful of cheap dollar store rulers and a pair of cheap dollar store reading glasses. You'll want something with like a 3.5 magnification, like a plus 3.5 or a plus 4, something like that. If you can, the higher the magnification, the better. But right now, and I don't have anybody helping me right now, so excuse me, but let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is make our rail and our card carrier. We're going to be making this part and this part. So regular stereo cards are normally, stereo views are usually about 7 inches wide and about 2.5 inches tall. That's the regular size for a traditional stereo card. So this is helpful that the rulers are already ruled out. First of all, you're going to want a pack of like the cheapest wooden rulers that you can get. Usually I get these in a pack for $3 and they all have this metal edge on them. And if they are cheaply enough made, which is what you're going for actually, you want the cheapest ones available, this metal edge will come out very easily. Let me see if I have a pair of tweezers because mine's not coming out that easy somehow. I bet you I could just grab one off of these. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this just pulls off really easy, and we're going to be using this part as well, so don't throw it out. So since a stereo view is traditionally 7 inches wide, we're going to be making our card carrier 7.5 inches long. So take a box cutter or some sort of craft knife, and oh, please have a blade in it. Thank God. So I'm just going to basically be cutting this right on the 7.5 inch line. Oops, sorry. So can you see this? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to score it through the wood. I'm not going to cut all the way through, but I'm just going to score it because I'm going to try to make a clean break if I can. Maybe I have to score it again. Hold on. And these wooden rulers are great because they're cheap and they're very... Oops, that's a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. That's a clean cut. So right now I have a 7.5 piece of wood, 7.5 inch, excuse me, piece of wood. And I have these 2 holes in them. And this is where we're going to be putting our card clips in to hold the stereo card in. So these you can make, I wouldn't recommend using this piece of metal. We're going to be using this for something else in a minute. But if you have paper clips, I find that very large paper clips are very good for this. I didn't have paper clips, so I have hairpins, which I think are going to be a little too small for this project. But I found like some piece of like excess wire in my wire pile. So I'm just going to bend this until this is going to break off, I'm sure, very easily. Boom, just like that. And I'm going to get a nice, maybe, I'm going to get like a 6-inch piece that I'm going to use. So I'm going to bend that until it breaks off. And you can use paper clips for this. If you have big, giant, the large size paper clips, that's what I used to use for these, and I just don't have any paper clips handy. I think they're all in my office. So I'm going to make 2 lengths of wire that are 6 inches long. And again, the reason why I'm not using this metal that I just took off one of my rulers is because it's very thin and it has a kind of like razor sharp edge. So A, you don't want to cut yourself, and B, you don't want to cut up, you don't want to damage your stereo cards either. They might cut into the stereo cards are usually made out of paper or cardboard, so you don't want to damage your cards either. So this paper clips are made out of a rolled wire type of material, so it doesn't have a sharp edge. And okay, so now I have 2 lengths of wire, right? So I'm basically going to be following the same sort of pattern that this card clip has, which is basically bent like this. So you just bend it in half so that it has a nice curved edge to it. And then I'm just going to bend the end by just pushing it against something solid. So this is my table. I'm just pushing it against the table. And you can see already that I kind of have the same exact pattern. So I'm going to make another one out of this piece of wire. And I'm going to bend it again. Oops, it's a little hard to bend, but paper clips might be easier. So now I have a nice little kind of exact shaped pattern how the card clip is in this traditional actual stereo view holder. And see that? Sorry about that. See that? So basically you can kind of bend this so that it will match up. I'm going to put another bend in mine so that it bends at the 1 inch line. And I'm getting a shape that will eventually look like this. So this is the shape that you kind of want when you're bending your paper clips. See? So I'm going to take a piece of tape and tape these on, and when you tape it onto your stereo, this is going to be your card carrier, you're going to want to use the flat side of the ruler to do that. Wait, do I want the flat side of the ruler? Yeah, I want the flat side of the ruler to do that. So I'm going to just put this in, whoops, sorry. I'm going to just put this in the hole that's already in the ruler and lay it flat like this. Right? So I'm going to tape those in right now, and I'm going to tape the other one in. And when you make your card holder, just make sure that there's a little space for the card to actually sit in once you put it together. So I'm taking a piece of, this is, you could take Scotch tape. I'm using this black paper tape because I like the way it looks. And so we're going to do that real quick. Let me just put these both in. Oops. Sorry. All right. Let's see. How am I going to do this? Okay, so I'm going to bend these a little bit more so that they're really kind of perfect. If you want to use the edge of your ruler to make nice bends, that's actually a good idea. So you can use the end of your ruler, make some nice bends. I'm going to put this flat, like I said before, excuse me, and I'm going to just tape this down. Now then, when you actually make these for yourself at home and you don't like tape, if you don't like the way it looks or something like that, you can glue these if you want. If you're making it kind of a little bit more fancy, you could staple it if you want. Depends on how thick the wood of your ruler is. And it depends on how large your staples are. So I'm going to put this other one, oops, I'm going to put this other one right here, and I'm going to bend the excess that's coming out right here. I'm just going to bend it down onto the ruler, hold on, so that it will stay flat when I put my card in. Excuse me. I'm going to just cut this at the edge. And if you have thin enough paper clips, you could just actually cut them with a scissor. It's fine. So I'm going to take a piece of tape. And I hate it when tape does that. I'm going to take a piece of tape, and I am going to put this down. Wait, what did I just do? Oh, oops, excuse me. It would be good if I knew what I was doing when I was doing an instruction video, right? Okay, so I'm basically going to be taping this down, and it's a little difficult to bend all the, to bend this up, but I just did it right now. So I'm going to put a piece of tape like this and just make sure that it stays flat. Let me rip off this excess piece of tape or fold it over. All right. All right, so now I have a basic, ooh, I made this wrong, my bad. And if you make it wrong, you can just bend it backwards. It's totally fine, it's a paper clip. And if you screw it up, you can always do it again with another paper clip because they're paper clips. That's the best part about dollar store stereography. There's really no mistakes here. So I'm gonna put another piece of tape in that to secure it. I'm gonna use Scotch tape this time. And voila. Oh my God, why can't I cut something with a scissor? Okay. Wow. Okay. So here I go. Now then, this might be a little bit not exact right now, but I just want you to get the general idea. I know this one looks a lot better than this one, but it's still gonna hold my card pretty well. And now put a card in it, by the way, and make sure that you adjust it to where the card is gonna sit. You want it to sit in the middle of it. So maybe I wanna do that a little bit more so it holds it up. But either way, this is where your card is gonna sit. So this is gonna be the card carrier. Now then, that little piece of metal that I just lost, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna rip another one. Oh, here it is. So take another ruler. Now then, this ruler that I have has 2 holes over here, and then it has 2 more holes that are more spaced out. The ones that, we're gonna use the part where it's 2 holes that's close together, we're gonna use that for where our hood is gonna be. So right now, if you can see, first of all, take your metal edge off this again, if you can. And if I use my teeth in a second, you guys, like, don't judge me, but hold on. I'm gonna use a tweezer just to be nice for public. All right, there, that just comes right out. Now then, this is a very malleable piece of little tin. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the curved, the part of the ruler with the bump on it. So see how this is flat on one side and bumped on the other? I'm just gonna take my finger and kind of shove it in there and make sure that it's following the curve of the ruler, because that will actually keep your card carrier on track when you use it. So right now I just bent this right now around the ruler so it has that sort of shape. And I'm going to take my scissor, I'm going to cut off the excess on the edge that just went flying. And I'm going to put this in the middle of the bottom of my card carrier that I made on the opposite side of the clips, where the clips are, because that's going to be the card carrier travel mechanism. That's going to allow you to glide it up and down on the ruler, as I'm about to show you. Try to center it right in the middle of the, so since this is 7.5 inches, it would be like 3 3/4 inches, if I math right, which don't necessarily think that I do math right, because I might not. But you want it to be about 3 3/4 in. And now that's the bottom of the card carrier. And you can see right now, there you go, that just glides along. So this will be exactly the same exact mechanism that you use in a traditional stereoscope. You pull it up and down to basically adjust the focus for yourself. So that's all done. I'm going to take a piece of black paper tape. Now this is the tape that I'm using here is black acid-free photo tape that they make specifically for photographic use because it doesn't deteriorate any, it doesn't have any acid in it, so it doesn't deteriorate any sort of paper photograph product that you might touch onto it. And I'm just gonna make that like this and just finish it nicely because I don't want it to look that sloppy. Again, if you don't like the way tape looks at the end of this project, you could actually cover it in something like contact paper that you would use to line a shelf or what have you. You could paint this afterwards. You could do a whole bunch of stuff. You could get very creative and make your own design or pattern or decorations for it. So right now I'm just going to stop doing this because this is pretty much already done. So right now I have, for the most part, a very similar card carrying mechanism that this part is a little weird. You want it to look like this part, people. I'm sorry. So please bend your paper clip so it looks like that. That one's like a little like wah wah, but it's basically the same exact design. So that's a very quick and simple one. Also, if you have a stereoscope that you lost the card carrier to, just make one like this, and you can basically, I could put this on any. This right now is the one that I just made. I can put this on any stereoscope and I can use this if I lost my card carrier, or if you find a stereoscope that's only the hood part and the lens part. Remember, this had a hood on it that I took off for a reason. I'll show you in a second. But, you know, if you just find that part and you need a new card carrier, you can make one out of a ruler and a pair of paper clips. Real simple, and that could be just a project in itself. Oops, sorry. Anyway. So the next part we're going to be making is the lens board, right? So this is one that I took apart before. Stereoscope lenses traditionally have this very curved, it almost looks like a wedge, and they're facing inwards. So basically your magnification is kind of pointed, it's directed towards the center of the stereo card, basically so you won't see any outside influence in your image. And so we're going to make the lens board right now, and make sure that your pair of reading glasses, like I said before, are 3.5 magnification or 4 times magnification. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to break off the arms, and you can actually use this in a little bit. Don't throw them away because we're going to use this as our trigger. We're going to make a trigger holder for this. That's like this and not like this. I like them better because they store better. This one happens to have a folding one, but when they don't and they're this long, to put them away in a shelf somewhere is the biggest pain in the butt. So I like mine with a very short handle on it. So that works out. So the next thing you're going to do, now remember what I just showed you, that lens board had the lenses facing inwards. We're going to want our glasses to basically mimic that same inward facing design. And since these are just like cheap dollar store glasses, they're made out of plastic. The best way to do that is to actually just like light them on fire for a second. Make sure that your lighter is not going to burn the lenses. And you want to hold it up. You want to hold it above the flame. Don't put it on the flame. The hottest part of the flame is going to be right above it. So you're just going to put it there for a second. And then I'm going to very easily, don't touch it with your hands. It's going to be very hot. You can very easily bend and shape this so that they're facing. Remember, this is the part that I would look through. So I'm going to be doing it backwards, basically. So this is the front part of the glasses. This is the front part. So you're going to be basically bending it backwards. So let me just bend it a little bit more. Da, 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 da. And obviously if you're using metal frame glasses, might be a little bit easier, but because you don't want to break this part. It's a pain in the butt otherwise. So there we go. I have a nice pair of inward facing lenses that when I look at this, I could already tell just by holding this in front of my face, this is a good, accurate angle. It's an obtuse angle. So we're going to be basically making our lens board now. So you take one of your rulers and make sure that your ruler does not have the metal edge on it. Take that off. And so you have your card carrier. We already made that part. And see this part over here in this ruler's, it has, so you have 1, 2, 3 holes, and then you have an extra 4th hole over here. We're going to be putting our lens board kind of right on the edge over there. So make sure that you have a place to stick this on your ruler. If you're using a plastic ruler or something like that, make sure that they have the holes. This is really like an important part. And right now, if I could just find where oh, it's in my lap. Okay. So, so right now I'm going to trace this. I like this. This is cardboard. I got some decorative cardboard, corrugated cardboard from the dollar store that came in a pack, and it's really pretty. So I'm going to be using this. You could use like a manila envelope is nice. You want something thin. I tried this. I tried this tutorial before with like a piece of like really thick cardboard box that you would get something shipped in, and it didn't work out well. It took me forever to cut out the cardboard and stuff like that. So you want something thin, and this is corrugated, so it doesn't bend in the way it doesn't want to. It only bends in one direction. So I like to use this because it's going to be a great way to make this hood, right? And I can't use this one because my boyfriend wants to use that for like a photograph that he's making. So what color should I use? I'm gonna use this one, or should I use this one? I don't know. Maybe I'll use this one. No, actually I like the lime green one. Whatever. Either way, you can, and that's the part that you can be creative about. You can totally make whatever you want. And I'm gonna just kind of trace around this hood. If it doesn't cover the whole entire area, that's okay. I'm going to trace it like that. So I'm going to trace the hood shape. Since this is straight, I don't have to trace this part. It's only the middle, the curved part that I'm going to trace. So I'm going to take, this is a graphite pencil, so you could just do that and hold it with your hand. Let me try to do this like that so you can see it. So I'm going to just trace this, right? I'm going to trace around. So I'm going to go, can you see? Okay, very good. Do, right? And you don't have to trace it exactly. You want to actually have a little bit of leeway because we're not going to cut this out exactly. We're going to leave some area. And I'm just rolling it like that. Now then I'm going to have a tutorial update. I'm going to have a pattern for this that you could download and print as a PDF file on my website, which is actually up. It's PARALLAX-SHIFT.com, PARALLAX-SHIFT, SHIFT.com. And it's already live, but it's not 100% done. It'll be done on the 26th. Now then, this is going to be our hood. And I actually should have left a little bit more. Oh, that's a really bad shadow. Okay, so this is, I'm actually going to cut it a little bit more. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room because I actually have to make things called like folds and score it and make other little things. So I'm going to actually widen that, and I'm going to cut this with a pair of scissors. Oh, okay, good. And you don't have to be exact. And this is a fun part that you could also make up your own shape if you want. If you don't like the way the hoods are styled, you can make your own hood. So this is cool. Look, that fits on my face perfectly. You want to block out the light from the outside your periphery. So this is a great shape. So this is going to basically attach. Now then, your other part of your ruler that you just broke off, you can use this part, and you can basically just tape this down. I'm going to use a piece of Scotch tape, and I'm going to tape this down right now, or a piece of masking tape, excuse me. Maybe I'll use Scotch tape because it's clear and da-da-da-da. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, so I'm going to just shove this into the cardboard, and I'm going to put this on this part right here, and then I'm going to tape the other part over here. Actually, I'm going to kind of bend the cardboard a little bit so it actually has a piece of cardboard that is underneath this part. That's nice. That's much better. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna tape this right now. And you can tape it on the other side. Also, on the other side, I'm going to actually use a piece of black tape because I think it's just better. It's masking tape, and you just tape it kind of, let's see if you can see that. So I want to tape it on the inside and the outside. Right? Okay. Oops, sorry. So this is going to be my hood, and this is where my lens board is going to be sitting. I'm going to have my lens board sitting, so if this is the hood and you're going to put it against your face this way, I'm going to have my glasses in the V. The V is going to be pointing towards you. Let's just say that. So I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I'm going to tape this piece of glasses right on the frame, and I'm going to just secure it down here because that's going to be where we're going to look through. And as long as your hood is deep enough, you could kind of like fit your whole head in here and have like it's exactly like a regular stereoscope hood and a regular stereoscope viewing board. So I'm going to take my black tape again, and again, this is just paper masking tape with no acid in it. That is for photographic use. Maybe I'll list where you can get it. So I'm just going to tape this so that the V point is facing towards me. You want the bottom of the V part to be facing towards you in this case. If you could see that, you see? So I'm going to just tape this so that it is facing the right. Oh, also make sure to center it. That wasn't very centered. Here we go. Let's see if I can center that nicely. And just take a piece of tape, and it'll be fine. And again, if you want to make it nice and neat looking, which a lot of people get bothered by. I don't really get bothered by stuff like that, but a lot of people do. You can make sure that you have it covered 100%, that you don't see any tape lines or seams. And this black masking tape is actually kind of perfect for making sure everything looks nice and neat. Ooh, I didn't tape that very well, and I should show it to you while I'm taping it. So I'm trying to tape the very edge of this glasses frame right. And don't cover the lenses, whatever you do. Or maybe I'll just secure it a little bit more like that. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. And make sure that you don't tape over the lenses. Those are the parts that obviously you're going to look through. But right now I am just securing this la-di-da-di-da. And let's see if I can do that without taping over the lenses. I hope so. Oops, sorry guys. I have nobody here today. My betrothed, my beloved, is out at work right now. Hello, baby, if you're watching. And let me just secure this one part. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. Let me try to stand up for you guys. Hold on. Let's see if I can stand up. Amazing, right? So I'm going to actually cut this piece of tape right here. That way I could tape it and that it won't cover the lens. Perfect, yay. So that's good, and I could secure it like that, and I'm going to secure it a little bit more on the other side. Sorry if this is boring, but, or that I'm not being able to face you guys very well with this, but here we go. Okay, so right now what we have is a lens hood. And now this is basically your lens board. It's mimicking pretty much exactly how you would have a regular lens board, except for the fact that we don't have this front part cover. So right now, let's make that front part cover. So here we have this is already taped down. You can just draw on this on your leftover cardboard, wherever you have, and you want to make it into a shape that it will stay at. So if you want it to be a little bit more flat, you could flatten it out. If you want it to be round, you could just draw around that however you like. So I'm going to just basically draw this right now onto a piece of my leftover cardboard. Hold on. And I'm going to say, and when you draw this part, you're going to want to have a little bit excess part because you're going to want to do something called scoring and folding. Okay, so I basically already know what kind of shape I want. So I'm going to take the flat end, and that's going to be my bottom part where it's going to go against the ruler. And the rest of it is going to be kind of in this shape. Now, then I made this a little bigger than what actually is. So you see that it's hanging over, like it won't actually go into this shape very nicely. Because what I'm going to do is actually make a second folding line. This is basically where I'm going to score and fold. So you have a area. If you just do little cuts into wherever your second line is going to be, then we're going to have a place where we're going to fold this over so the hood has something to attach to. So right now, I'm just going to fold this paper on my score lines that I just made. These little tiny cuts are perfect for making a three-dimensional type of hood. You might need to make a little bit more cuts. I'm going to make a couple more, actually. Okay, very good. And make sure they're all on the same line, basically, in line with each other. Excuse me. And I'm going to fold these all over. And this will go very nicely inside my lens board. If I put it in, if I did it right, let's see. I might have to make a little bit more of an adjustment. This might be too big. And I'll have a pattern for you guys that you could just easily cut out and use as a pattern. Okay, that's great. That's going to be how I'm going to have my lens board. And now we have to cut out holes so that you can see through it. So wherever your glasses are, just kind of do the same thing that we've been doing, like just kind of trace over where you're going to be making your cuts, And I'm going to make two cuts for the eyes. I'm going to kind of shape them to the size glasses that I have. If you have bigger lenses on your glasses, please make them as big as your lenses are, because you're going to want to be able to see and utilize all that magnification and lens space that you have. And let's see. All right, look at that. That actually came out very nice. I'm going to just shove this. I'm not even going to tape it yet because it kind of holds its shape as it is. But right now I have a nice little lens hood that if you see it on inside, and I have my card carrier that we just made before, and I have my rail for the card carrier. So I'm going to just right now attach this lens hood that we just made. This is the lens hood, and I'm going to attach it to this ruler with a piece of tape, but you could actually use your wire, this little metal edge from your ruler. Actually, let me see if I could do it like that, because that would be really good and secure if I could do it like that. So let's just see. I'm going to put it on the side with the two holes on it that are closest together. And I guess I'm just going to weave this through the hole, and I'm going to leave some excess on the edge, and I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to see if I can't secure this without any glue or tape or anything, just using this, just by using this piece of metal right here. I don't know if I can, because I've never done this, but I think I can. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, da-da-da-da-da. Oops, of course I can. Okay, so I'm gonna actually use this piece of very thin metal that I took off of the ruler that I'm using right now for my lens carrier. I'm gonna use this to help secure this to the ruler. And I like this because once I'm going to secure it, it's not going to move, and I want it to stay centered in this ruler at all times. That's the other thing. You need your lenses and your card, your stereo card that you're going to be viewing, to be centered. So that's a good point, that you should just make sure that you take an extra step to measure everything. I'm just going to take that part off for a second because it's getting in my way. And I'm just using the holes that are already existing in the ruler to kind of weave this piece of very, very malleable aluminum through, or tin, whatever this is made out of. I actually don't know. And but it's very, very easy to bend, and I like it very much. All right, I'm gonna just do that, and I'm going to weave this in so that I don't cut myself on it, and kind of bend it into shape like that. All right, so here we go. Now we have a lens hood. We have it attached to the ruler. I just attached it to the ruler with a piece of the metal edging of one of the other rulers, but you don't need to do that. You can use tape if you want. I have a cardboard cutout that is going to be my template, basically, for the lens board, for the lens hood. I'm going to stand up to do this, and I'm just going to basically tape this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to untape this for a second, and I'm going to retape it on. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just shove it in and tape it with a piece of tape. Hold on. And if you don't want it to be neon green, you don't have to have it to be neon green. You can have it be whatever color you want. You could use contact paper, like I said, which is self-sticking. You can use, you could spray paint it, you could draw on it, you can do whatever your heart desires. And I'm gonna just take some tape, and I'm gonna put it on the score lines that I already made, these little cut lines. That's going to give your lens hood structure and support so that it doesn't collapse on you when you're using your stereoscope. And I'm just going to shove this in. I like to shove things in places. I think that's a joke in my house. Let's see if I could just do it this way. I'm just going to kind of go boop and make sure that everything is secure when I tape it. I'm just going to kind of tape it with my, I'm just going to kind of press the tape in with my fingers that I just put that pieces of tape on that you saw me do before. And this will make sure that your lens hood doesn't collapse. It's nice and sturdy now. And it might look a little bit ghetto from the front, but hey, you know something? You just made a stereoscope for like $1. Like, what are you gonna do? So now that I have my lens hood made, I have my lens board on it, everything's nice and secure with a piece of tape. Like, come on guys, I just, like, this is fine, right? I'm gonna take my lens board, I'm gonna put it on my stereoscope. Now the last part is, if you want a finger grip for this, I like to use the part, I like to use every part of the buffalo. So I'm going to use these, the arms from the glasses that we just broke off, and I'm going to tape them together so that it's nice and sturdy. And it just happens to be a perfect like little grip, right? So I'm gonna just put this, I don't wanna put it on any part where the card carrier might go. So you wanna put it as far back, or unless you do it this way, but I like to do it this way. So I'm gonna put it as far back on my stereoscope as possible. No, actually I am gonna do it this way. What am I talking about? Nah, I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, sorry. So I'm gonna just tape this to the bottom of my my railing that I just had. That's made out of a ruler, and it is super simple to do. So I'm just going to make sure that I have tape on both sides of it. That way I can just pop it on the bottom of this and just go boop. And there you have a, you can of course secure it with more tape, but right now that works fine. And I can use this, let's see, where's my stereo card? Oh, here it is. And I can use this just as I would any other stereoscope, right? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Holmes style stereoscope that you can make at home out of basically, I think I spent about $2 on the materials. A pair of reading glasses at my dollar store cost $1. A pack of 3 wooden rulers with this metal edging cost $1. And I happened to spend $1 on decorative cardboard paper. But as long as you dress it up a little bit nicer, or if you like, you know, stain it, or you can like, you know, paint it wooden color, whatever you want to do. Oh, also, there's only one other thing. If you want to make a septum, now then a lot of the stereo viewers have a septum. That's what this part is. And that basically prevents you from crossing your eyes because you can't see through the piece of wood in the middle. And if I have to do something like that very quickly, I will take a piece of cardboard, I will make it septum shaped so that it's like that, and I'm going to just make score lines on the bottom like I did before and fold them. That way it stands up straight when I tape it down. So I'm going to tape it like that. Excusez-moi. So this will go right here, and this septum will prevent any cross viewing from happening. That's why they have the septums. In fact, if you have a problem doing parallel views, like a free view like I do, I can only cross view. I can't parallel view for my life because I'm a cross viewer for life. You can kind of like train yourself to like not cross view by having a septum in between what stereo image you're looking at and your eyes. And I'm just gonna quickly put that septum on. And again, if you don't like the way tape looks and you think it looks like mad ghetto, you can totally just cover it with decorative paper. You can do whatever you want. You can paint it, you can illustrate it, you can draw on it, you can do whatever. And oh, I should have made this, I'm so stupid. I should have made this so that it's touching the lens board so that it's actually attached. So I'm gonna try to attach it really quickly with 2 pieces of tape. And just tape it to your lens board. I'm not going to use that tape. I'm just going to leave my septum out right now because that's the way I like my septum. I like my septums out. Anyway, right now I have everything that a normal stereo viewer would have. I have a septum, I have a lens board, I have a hood, I have a rail for my card carrier to travel on. I have a card carrier which I stick my stereo card in, and it is complete with stereo card clips. And I can adjust this like any other stereo viewer that I have, Holmes style stereoscope that I have, which is invented by Oliver Wendell Holmes back in the 1800s. And this is a very functional, fully functional working stereoscope that I just made out of $2 worth of stuff. And that's Dollar Store Stereography. We're gonna have a new episode every Tuesday, every first Tuesday of every month. This is a repeat that I'm reshooting, but there you go. And you know, 3D on, people. Have a good day. Bye.